Hi, I'm State Representative Clint Owlett, and I have the honor and the privilege to serve the 68th District, which is Tioga, Bradford, and Potter County. Today at the Farm Show, I get the distinct privilege to interview the Secretary of Agriculture, Russell Redding. Thank you so much for...
Honor's mine.
Thank you for all your work in the agriculture industry, which is a huge deal here in Pennsylvania. And I know we've talked a lot about that, and just thank you for the opportunity to sit down and talk a little bit more about what you guys are working on, what we're working on, and how we can team together to really make sure that agriculture is a sustainable option for the next generation here in Pennsylvania.
Well, I really appreciate your sort of passion and spirit launching into everything from dairy to the Farm Bill and just sort of general advocacy for great people back in the district who are in the most honorable professions of agriculture. So thank you. Yeah, nice job.
Well, we gravitate towards things that we're passionate about, and agriculture definitely is something I'm passionate about. So I've kind of gravitated towards that. And speaking of the Farm Bill, last year we worked on the Dairy Investment Fund, and we did that the year before. We had $5 million the year before, $5 million this year. It's a grant opportunity. Talk a little bit about where that process is at and some of the folks that are applying for those grants this year.
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks for your support of it. I mean, we had a chance to do it again in the Farm Bill, and you were the prime sponsor, so thank you for making that happen. And that was born out of necessity. We have this dairy dilemma in the state of Pennsylvania, and you're challenged by it, I am, the folks back home are trying to find what's the right combination, right? It's pricing, it's supply, but what can we do? One of the things we can do is to simply invest, right? And say, while all of these big issues around dairy get sorted out, let's not lose focus on those good ideas and the innovators. And we had, in the first round, 40 applicants. I think we funded 27 of them. There's another round as part of the Pennsylvania Farm Bill, $5 million. So that'll be a total of $10 million investment. The second round had 77 applications. I don't know how many we'll be able to fund. Maybe another 30 or so. But it tells you what's out there, right? A lot of innovation, a lot of great ideas. We heard one today of three brothers in Western Pennsylvania.
Jason's story, right?
Jason's story, Jason Fry, right? And I look at him thinking, here's a guy who's doing other things, but he wants to come back. Transition to the farm, three brothers, two in the military, making cheese. It's just a great story. Would we have found him without a dairy investment program? I don't think so.
It was such an encouraging story to hear. That to see the work that we did, the work that we were pushing for with the Dairy Investment Fund, to see that actually how it worked and it's playing out is great. It's a long-term investment. It's not. But there's definitely challenges short-term. And the Future Dairy Commission was another piece of the Farm Bill. Talk a little bit about that, where that's at. I know they've been meeting a few times. What can we see to expect from that commission that we established?
Well, I think and I've come to appreciate the commission. I mean, we've done a lot of different dairy studies, and the Center for Dairy Excellence and Milk Marketing Board, and we have all of these organizations, stakeholders. What the commission has done, I've come to appreciate, it pushes all of that up, right? It brings it up, top line, and puts a structure around all of these great thinkers. And what are the big issues? Some of them are federal issues, right? Whether it's on some of the milk marketing efforts or trade concerns or some of the nutrition issues we talk about. Some are state related, some are private, and others are really farm level of what you do about cost production. So chaired by a dairyman, Brent Rydford. Each of the four subcommittees are also chaired by dairymen, dairy women. Doing a great job. So the focus is on dairy. Their task is between here in April of getting our sort of first draft and first cut of ideas and thoughts. And I can tell you it's the full range. There are things that they're going to recommend that we do on the regulatory environment, right? Permitting concerns. They're looking at additional investments. They're hopeful that we make full use of the Port of Philadelphia from a trade standpoint, right?
What a great asset.
It's a great asset. $300 million spent in the last 4 years just to upgrade right? So we can take every ship in the world through that port.
And we are so strategically located as the state of Pennsylvania here with our ports to be able to get our product overseas, which is great. It's not just a Pennsylvania market, it's not just a national market. I mean, it's a worldwide commodity, and it's a great resource. So as we study that, I'm looking forward to being involved in that in any way, shape, or form that I can. We talked a little bit about consumption of dairy products is up, like your meat, your cheeses, your yogurts, those are up, but fluid milk is down. So I was thinking about this question, and it goes along with the marketing aspect of what we were talking about. Like, what would you say to a mom that's standing in front of the dairy case, trying to decide if she's going to buy a gallon of milk to take home this week? What would you say to her?
That's a great question. So I'm just picturing myself standing there, right? So first I would look at her grocery cart. What's in there? Right? So it would tell me a story, a little bit about what her buying habits are, what the purchase. I'm guessing if she's at least standing still in front of the dairy case, she's contemplating. And we need more people to contemplate, right?
That's exactly right.
It's important. It matters, and it matters not just in the purchasing decision, but it matters in the economy. It matters to our health. It matters to a lot of people. I would say two things. One, you can get all of the essential vitamins and nutrients you need for your family in that 1 gallon of milk, right? And you're not going to buy any better nutrition for the money than on that milk, right?
Exactly.
Two is, I would say, if you're interested in sugar, look at the sugar content of the alternatives. I always come back to this. I like the natural sugars, natural occurring sugars versus synthetics. But hopefully I could convince her to at least reach up and try the milk if she hasn't.
And that would be a game changer for our farmers in Pennsylvania. If we could get fluid milk consumption to go up, that would be a big deal and would really keep a lot of folks continuing to be able to have that sustainability on their farm, which is great. So another thing here at the Pennsylvania Farm Show is the PA Preferred labeling, which we pride ourselves in products being produced here in Pennsylvania, and that's been an exciting marketing adventure. We actually have some popcorn that
caught my eye.
Yeah, so we have some popcorn here for you, and this is from the Mill Street folks. This is my personal favorite.
Okay.
So this is the white cheddar cheese salt and vinegar popcorn. So put your paw out there. Tell me a little bit about this. So these folks, this is their first time down here as a vendor. So if somebody wants to be a vendor at the farm show, talk a little bit about that. How many thousands of people come through here?
Our best guess, I always have to preface it, I don't exactly know, but there is north of 500,000 people over the course of 8 days.
Crazy.
And based on what the weekend was like, it's going to exceed 500,000.
Yeah.
These are all Pennsylvanians coming in. There's one board that I use to sort of give a good idea who's here. It's up in the expo hall, and it's the veterans and where veterans are coming from. If you look at that board, they are from Kansas to Canada. It just tells you who's here. You got a lot of people in the South in Pennsylvania, but they're everywhere, right?
Exactly.
So you come in. PA Preferred, by the way, is our state brand.
That's right.
I think Pennsylvania has a brand, right?
Yep.
We should be very proud of that. Get it on the label, get it on the material, get people engaged in it.
Exactly.
Buying local, buying Pennsylvania, right?
Yep.
It gets you both great products and good people and jobs right here.
Well, it's small business. It's challenging in rural areas to attract a 500-person employer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just that's an incredibly challenging task. But small business, where they're hiring 10, 15 people, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
So this is pretty.
Great popcorn.
Isn't it pretty good?
Yeah, leave the bag when you leave.
That's right. So lastly, if somebody is thinking about coming down to the farm show from Bradford County, Potter County, Tioga County, they're on the fence, they're trying to decide if they want to come down, what would you tell them?
I would say there's not another 1 million square feet of space that you're going to walk into, and regardless of direction you travel, that you're not going to find somebody from back home, somebody who looks like you and has the same desires of food and agriculture. You're going to get a chance to see all of agriculture inside this building.
That's great. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for all of your hard work. Look forward to working with you this year.
Thank you.
And if you're down here, stop by and get some popcorn. It's pretty good stuff.
Good stuff.
Thanks.
Thank you.